Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition here of a StarCraft Evolution tournament, but this time a little bit different. Welcome back to SEL Doubles number 1, a brand new edition here of StarCraft Evolution tournaments, this time featuring 2v2. I'm of course your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome one and all. It's been a bit of a messy day of StarCraft. I do apologize for those that weren't here earlier today. We were live with Code for Giants Cup. And alas, unfortunately, the internet went down. Towards the end in the grand finals, and we didn't get through it, unfortunately. Most likely, we're gonna have to reschedule that match for next week. So next week, we'll be wrapping up Code for Giants Cup and the grand finals between Eric and Master, leading into Code for Giants Cup LATAM edition. So that'll be the plan for next week's broadcast. Meanwhile, when it comes to this event as well, we're 40 minutes late, or half an hour late, I should say. Again, I'll be honest, I'm waiting for a call. It's pretty important, so I'm waiting for a phone call, and it was supposed to be 40 minutes ago, and still waiting, still waiting. So there's a very high chance that happens during the broadcast. When that does happen, I will have to pause. I'll have to cut to a break and take said call. But otherwise, I didn't want to wait too much longer, just because we've already been waiting 40 minutes. So the show must go on, baby. Show must go on. As we are jumping into our first series, jumping into the quarterfinals, it's going to be a 2v2 matchup here between Lambo Harstem and ZaRDieNT DefMars. Bearing in mind, this isn't just 2v2, this is also 2v2 StarCraft Evolution. It is going to be played on the SEL mod. Let's jump in. Let's jump into our fresh series. Let's jump into game 1. It's going to be on Reclamation. Let's go. From my understanding, I believe it is going to be incorporating 2v2 ladder maps, not custom Brood War 2v2 maps. I believe they have not been ported over, just as a heads up. Also, I'm gambling a little bit that the replays do work. I do know that's SEL. The thing with StarCraft Evolution is that they do have patches on a semi-regular basis, and because of that, they can kind of break their game modes and game mods a little bit. So hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully. Just catching up in the chat. Oh, buenos días, papi. Buenos días. As we are going to be jumping into our first series of the broadcast. Likewise, we're going to be featuring some of the other duos as well. We have Bjorn and Solar teaming up. We have Euthermal and Skills teaming up as well, which is an interesting pairing. I don't think I've seen Euthermal and Nikita play together and join forces. And we have Shin and Nightmare as well. So we do have some interesting pairings that are going to be showcased later on here in the broadcast. Yo, Este Polski in the chat. Ah, Shema, Papi Shema. You were here this morning as well. Good morning, good morning. Buenos días, buenos días. But here we go. Again, this morning we did have a bit of a disruption when it came to the morning broadcast. Hopefully everything's okay here tonight. But as I mentioned, I'm waiting for a call, and there's a very high chance that I will have to pause the broadcast, especially in the first series. But regardless, here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. So bottom right-hand corner of Reclamation, we have our red Zerg player. We have our green Protoss. It is Harstem and Lambo. It is Team Harambo, baby. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the orange Protoss player. We have the Brood War Terran, the teal Terran. It is ZaRDieNT and DefMars. Let's go. Let us go. Quickly jumping into this, it is going to be the SC2 Protoss from Harstem. It is going to be the Brood War Zerg player from Lambo. I believe, yeah, Brood War Zerg. Likewise, it's going to be Brood War Terran from ZaRDieNT and SC2 Protoss from DefMars. So SC2 Protoss players all around. It is their teammates that are going to be playing the StarCraft 1 or the SC Evo variants instead. Okay. Now, when it comes to 2v2, I'll be honest, I haven't casted too much SC Evolution in 2v2. We did, of course, cover the show match previously with Milky Cow and Iosop up against their previous opponents as well, up against ZaRDieNT, but we'll see how our players fare this time. Let's go, let's go. I believe it was DefMars, ZaRDieNT versus Milky Cow and Iosop, if I recall correctly. So we have a little bit of experience. When it comes to regular 2v2s, I mean, we'll see how ZaRDieNT does approach this. We have been seeing quite a bit of mech out of ZaRDieNT as of late in StarCraft Evolution, so we're leaning more towards a factory and mech heavy composition from our Terran player. Took a power nap. Fair enough, Pappy. Fair enough. Aye, aye, aye. Crazy, Pappy. Crazy. Likewise, you have our standard opener here from DefMars as well, going for a gate cyber expand. Oh, sorry, gate expanded cybercore. Likewise, oh, even a little bit greedy here out of Lambo. Lambo, I also know, does have limited experience, right? That's something that I should mention as well. Lambo, he does have limited experience when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. Harstem, I don't think has any experience. Like Harstem, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he has really competed in any StarCraft Evolution tournaments. So this 2v2 format, this 2v2 event, is a really nice way to kind of indoctrinate and kind of introduce people to StarCraft Evolution that otherwise wouldn't really be competing. Again, Lambo, he has had success in the past when it comes to SC Evo. Is dragging his friend Harstem into it. Meanwhile, DefMars and ZaRDieNT are a lot more experienced behind this, going double factory into mech. No surprises here. We did expect mech out of ZaRDieNT. Meanwhile, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of DefMars. Adeptus Shade into main, gets one probe, gets one worker so far. Sorry, I should say DefMars does deal with the scouting probe. My apologies. That's okay. We're locking in. Right, we're locking in. Adept does move out across the map, but meanwhile we have our take of choice, likewise Stargate. So Stargate versus Stargate out of our SC2 Protoss players. From here we should be amassing up in a Phoenixes. That is the much more common start. Into Oracle Phoenix or just straight Phoenix production. There it is, it's going to be Oracle first out of Harstem. This is a really bold move considering he knows he's up against a Stargate. Oh, my apologies. I assumed that the probe scouted, but no, the probe didn't get in. Yeah, the probe scout was denied. There we go, Phoenix first out of DefMars. Meanwhile, we have ion thrusters on the way for ZaRDieNT, getting into vulture speed, getting into mass mech. So building up into those vultures. Likewise, we do see Lambo going into Ling Hydra. Going into his Hydra heavy comp. I think what I'm most excited for when it comes to 2v2s is going to be the potential for spellcasters in the mid to late game, if we can get there. I will say one of the big issues when it comes to StarCraft Evolution is just how short games are and how many all-ins are dominant throughout the course of the meta in StarCraft Evolution. There's a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins. But in 2v2, there's a higher chance that with the help of your teammate, you can actually help defend, build up into the mid-game, and force a longer game state and be able to incorporate some of these spellcasters that otherwise aren't really utilized. So I do look forward to it. But now, Spider Mines, again, more Vultures, more Mines. Second Stargate for DefMars, massing up into Mass Phoenix. Meanwhile, ooh, we have ZaRDieNT going for a ground, sorry, we have Harstem going for a ground switch. Bold move, bold move. So he opens that Oracle into Twilight Council, into Blink. So making that switch into Blink Stalkers. It's going to be a ground heavy composition here from Team Shopify. From Harstem and Lambo. Meanwhile, Vultures are sharking around, setting up their minefields. Going for that Ivy even. Getting into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. They're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. Not bad. Ooh, Stasis Trap goes off. Hydra's a zone with the Phoenixes. So far, decent run by, but now the Vultures are trapped. Yeah, Vultures are trapped. More workers going down. So far, getting 8 probe kills. Again, not a bad amount of workers going down, but Harstem, I mean, the Zerg Protoss Army, they're going to be able to catch ZaRDieNT. Up. They shut him down. Heavy losses for ZaRDieNT. Thankfully, he was able to at least throw down the minefield earlier. Speaking of. Oh, the splits. Losing one Hydra so far. Does split. Does lose a second Hydra. Nice baits here from Lambo. Very nice baits. Bearing in mind that the way Spider Mines work is that they do unburrow first. So with high enough DPS, you can kill them before they connect. Can snipe their Spider Mines. Hydras, they make their way across the map. Again, it's still only Vulture production. No tanks, only one. Just the one tank. And a Hydra heavy composition should break this, by the way. Phoenixes, what are they going to do? Lift up one Hydra at a time? There's only one tank. You're only one tank. Starter steps forward. Boys are being pulled. Ooh, one Spider-Mine connects. Massive connection. But just one. Yeah, only the one Spider-Mine. And with that, I was praising. I was like, yo, the potential of mid-game play is there in 2v2. Not this game. All the boys are being pulled. Heavy losses here for DefMars and ZaRDieNT. Again, this all comes down to losing all those Vultures. Losing those Vultures means you lose map control. That triggers a counterattack. And back at home, there's barely a defense. It's going to be 23 probe kills for DefMars, 10 SCVs for ZaRDieNT. Again, heavy losses. We have one tank coming out. Lambo does attempt to dive. Tanks, they hold their own. Tanks, they hold their own. So far defending the ramp. Does hold, does defend. Lambo and ZaRDieNT going to be zoned away. And they are holding on. Again, the tank count is getting higher and higher. We're holding so far. But we're stuck on 2 bases. From here, Lambo getting a 4th. Getting a 5th expansion. Likewise, Harstem getting his own 3rd. They're gaining map control. Mass expanding. And can look to max out. Lair is now on the way. Upgrades on the horizon as well. Oh, it's going to be difficult to expand. Yeah, there's no shot they can take a 3rd. Not like this. As a CC may even just get killed. Oh, God. Oh, no. CC burns down. Again, ZaRDieNT cannot expand. Neither can DefMars. We're now setting up at the low ground, but this area is just so open. So open, so accessible. DefMars does try to get across the map. He gets punished. Losing 1. Losing just the 1 Phoenix so far. Bust into the mineral line. There's no safety cannons. And no cannons, but another Phoenix goes down. Harstem has been bullied this game. Non-stop harassment, but in the end, they're still building up. They can still afford these losses. They can still afford it. The drone count's actually quite low. Yeah, only 63 drones here for Lambo. The low worker count makes sense for Harstem just because he lost so many probes throughout the course of this game. That does make sense, but yeah, Lambo hasn't been able to drone up too heavily yet. Yeah, droning has been a little bit lackluster. Now saturating. Setup has been revealed. We have our tank line. And we can see DefMars switching into Skytels. Oh, I say switching into Skytels. Fleet Beacon is on the way that will help with more Phoenixes and eventually into carrier production. Eventually. So it's going to be Mech and Skytels. From the side of Lambo, he would benefit from... I said Devours. Defilers, that's it. I was trying to think of the word. But Defilers can help quite immensely here when it comes to Dark Swarm. You can Dark Swarm and try to break through these siege lines. For now, they're taking up into Lurkers. Queen's Nest is done. Hive is on the way. The other option, of course, is getting into Queen production, but that's going to be difficult with all these Phoenixes, as Queens will be very vulnerable. But the alternative to Dark Swarm would be for Queens to move in and then just Parasite. Is that the right terminology, actually? No, sorry, Spawn Broodlings, that's it. I always mix up the name of the spell Parasite and Spawn Broodling. In my mind, it's like the same thing. Obviously, Parasite is like Revelation. It's for Vision. But Spawn Breathings would be your way to try to break through this if there weren't so many Phoenixes. And here comes the Defiler Mount. Yeah, Defiler Mount is on the way. Working towards Defilers. From the side of our green Protoss player, I would imagine we should be working towards Skytels. Yeah, +1 air attack is on the way into a Fleet Beacon into Tempest production. That'd be what would make the most sense. Or carriers. Harstem is working on it. But now Mass Stalker. Okay, we're going into Ultras? Okay. Should be Ultra Defiler. Interesting. I mean, hey, that'd be a way to do it. Would be a way to do it. Carrier production has begun for DefMars. I mean, hey, they've established that low ground, the center expansions. They're looking to max out. Are getting there. Okay, Consume is being researched. Tank lines are spreading. I can already imagine Lambo being like, yo, why can't I make Vipers? Smurge, baby, smurge. As here comes that Skytop transition, Fleet Beacon, another Stargate for Harstem. Another Stargate, Fleet Beacon. You know, we have 8 Defilers on the way. And again, it feels like the goal here should be to go for the Dark Swarm and to try to break through the siege line with Ultras. It would make the most sense, but we'll see. I'll be honest, I have not seen that visual before. I think that's a new one. And it shows just how we just barely often get to see spellcasters in SE Evolution. Defilers even. So here we go, DefMars ZaRDieNT, then moving in. Laying siege on the bases. Lambo, he does counterattack. Oof. Okay, moves that across the map. Does hit the third. At the same time, ZaRDieNT and DefMars, they are gaining ground. They've got a lot of hatcheries to work through. Defilers are staying back. Ultra production has begun. And we have now Tempest slowly amassing for Harstem. Again, Tempest, they're going to be superior to Carrier. Tempest, they are the more efficient unit. I would say that our Skytos mech team here, they're on a bit of a timer. They got to keep going. That's the first Dark Swarm. Not really impacting too much here. Maybe testing out the spell. Hydras are being cleaned up. Nice clean up here with the Mass Phoenix. DefMars shuts him down. Oof. There's the Dark Swarm. Protecting the Stalkers. Protects back. Has the mech armies rotating. Knocking down an expansion. There's barely any tanks here with us though. It's mainly Vulture. Going for the Plague. And Plague does connect. Dark Storm not really too impactful. Defilers are being hunted down. Yeah, no Defilers. No Defilers left. DefMars ZaRDieNT moving in. Can they get on top of the Tempest? There's not that many carriers, so yeah, there's not that many. As we mentioned before, Tempests are superior to Carrier in almost every way. They shut down the carriers. Phoenixes are going for the dive. He dives in. Can he bring them down? He gets one. He gets one. Nah, not even. Oh, he looks like, nah, he breaks through. Yeah, he breaks through. Again, it's only Harstem left over. We do see Lambo has nothing. Lambo, he has nothing left. Lambo's been broken. Harstem holding on with what little he has. He's trying to 1v2. Yo, he's choosing to hang in there. But there we go. GG gets called. DefMars and ZaRDieNT, they claim game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, it does feel like Lambo had a bit of a hard time transitioning in this game. We did mention that Lambo had a very low drone count. It took him a long time to drone up despite having map control, right? Lambo, he had map control, so did Harstem of course as well. It made sense that Harstem's worker count was low because it was taking so many losses, but Lambo, likewise, he had a really hard time droning up and saturating. I say hard time droning and saturating. I think we mentioned previously that that Lambo doesn't really have a lot of experience in StarCraft Evolution. I do think that the macro here, the differential when it comes to how many hatcheries and macro hatcheries that are required did kind of catch up with him. I will say that most likely he was having a larva issue. We saw a bunch of hatcheries towards the end of the game, but it is very standard to basically have 2 hatcheries at base, right? Once you get your natural, your third up and running, you do typically once, 1, 2, 3 macro hatcheries alongside that, and that was lacking for Lambo. So he was having a larva issue, was having a droning issue, was having a macro issue overall. So Lambo, he was struggling when it comes to the macro. Likewise, Harstem was taking a lot of economic losses. They did a great job when it came to containing their opponents on 2 bases initially, but they failed to deny the third, and they failed to macro up out of that as well. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Undercurrent. ZaRDieNT and DefMars are up 1-0 in the series, and can they close it out here and now? Can Harstem and Lambo recover in game 2? Let's go. But again, I feel like this, again, shows some of the inexperience of Lambo when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. We'll see if he can keep up and catch up on the fly. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Undercurrents, we have the... we have the red Zerg player. We have the SC2 Zerg representing Shopify. Likewise, we have the green Protoss player, also SC2 Protoss. It is Lambo and Harstem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have our double Brood War team. Okay, so double SC2 versus double Brood War. We have the Brood War Terran, we have the Brood War Protoss. It is DefMars and ZaRDieNT. Hold on, I need to look up the rule set here. How does this work? Okay. So the rules here for SEL doubles. Game 1 is Brood War plus SC2 versus Brood War plus SC2. So you're forced to have one of your partners play Brood War in Game 1. Okay. Rating maps is determined by the losing team of the previous map. So if losing team selects Brood War, the winning team must play SC2 SC2. Losing team plays... Okay. So looking at the rule set here, because Harstem and Lambo lost game 1, they could choose and they could force double Brood War out of their opponents as they play double SC2. So coming into this, Lambo and Harstem will have the advantage, as they do have that SC2 advantage over their opponents. They're a little more well versed, they're a little more experienced, of course, when it comes to StarCraft 2. Again, they're forcing the double Brood War out of DefMars and ZaRDieNT. Interesting. It's interesting that that's an option in this tournament, as we are going for the gas deal. What I mean by that is very often in StarCraft Evolution events, you're forced to have a pairing and like a duality of Brood War and SC2. But here in StarCraft Evolution doubles, they allow you to have they allow you to double up like this. They allow you to double up, which I feel like is a little bit unfair. But sure. Like that's a big advantage for the losing team. That's huge. Well, there you go. From here we're going to be opening up. It is going to be a robot opener into a bay for DefMars, in towards a shuttle drop. Sorry, a Reaver drop, I should say. So we're opening a Reaver drop, which is the standard, the go-to in Brood War Protoss. Meanwhile, we do have a hidden academy here. Okay, so we saw mech out of ZaRDieNT in game 1, but here in game 2, it is going to be an early stim timing. So 3x stim timing out of ZaRDieNT. Early stim, early bio. And of course, said Reaver drop out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, across the map, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Harstem, opening on Twilight Council. Lambo does go hatch gas pool into a standard opener. He pulls out a gas, just droning, playing standard, playing as you should. I'm sure he's breathing easily, and now that he can inject, he's like, oh, thank God. I can actually macro, I can actually inject. True. Este 36. You know, we have our upgrades. I believe that is going to be a shuttle speed on the way. Double adept into the main. 1, 2, 3 probe kills. And not bad. 3 workers going down. Attempts to shade away. And gets a full scout. Does confirm the 3 axe, so with that, they're fully aware that the sim timing is coming. We have 5 bats in the mix as well. Let's go. Do love to see it. And DefMars and ZaRDieNT, they are coming. So here we go. We have our mass buy. We have a couple of fire bats. We have a couple of medics as well. Reaver drop is coming in. Does get spotted. Uh-oh. It's going to be chased down. Scarab truck going up. Takes down one of the stalkers. Gets 1. Gets 2. Nice pickups. Oh no, the shuttle! No! Okay. Doesn't overextend. Stalkers, they collapse on the shuttle. Shuttle getting very low. Scrap shot on Zerglings. And Marines are going down. Yeah, picking up the Marines one after the other. Slowing down this push. Once again, the Stalkers, he wants that shuttle. Oh, the blink control. Avoids the Scarab shot, not bad. Does blink, does avoid. And with that, ZaRDieNT DefMars are running a team. They're running a team. They fully surrounded. The shuttle goes down. A massive pickup. And with that, they'll just completely get surrounded. They get shut down. They get cleaned up. And now it's go time. Harstem and Lambo, they've gained map control. They're moving out across the map. Behind this, Harstem has plenty of bases, plenty of expansions. He's got the larva. Lair's on the way alongside +1, going into what looks to be Ling Hydra. But so far, it has been a shaky start here for DefMars and ZaRDieNT. They have one defensive Reaver. Once again, we do avoid the shots. Nice control out of Harstem. So far, nice control. Getting both players stuck on 2 bases. And this time, Harstem and Lambo should have an easier time when it comes to maintaining map control, expanding, building up their economies, and getting further ahead. As I mentioned previously, it did feel like Lambo had a hard time macroing in that last game, but here it should be a lot more comfortable. Shot to the face. Behind the Spire is on the way. Okay, so I assume Lambo is going to go into Hydra play, but no, he's going into Mutas. Bold move. Going into the Mutas. That Skype shot doesn't quite connect. Mining is being denied. And they cannot mine from that third. Oof. Cannot quite mine. ZaRDieNT just getting bullied as we're trying to hunt down those stalkers. Dragoons are moving in. Oof, jeez. The Scarab shots back. Yeah. Crazy. As they try to catch him out, but last Harstem does quite well. Blinks in. Uh-oh. Yeah, he gets punished. Crazy blink forward there out of Harstem. Bleeding out a lot of stalkers. From here, gonna have to pull away. Lings just try to reinforce. Scarab shots, they punish the Zerglings. Oh my god. That's a lot of Lings going down. And with that, the gold is getting up. The gold is getting up and running soon. DefMars can also expand as well. DefMars ZaRDieNT, they're recovering. They're getting there. But what I'm most concerned by here are the Mutas. The Mutas have yet to be revealed. They're coming. The Mutas back. Stalkers, they collapse in. And trading well, picking up more Marines. The Dragoons are able to at least hold their own, but again, the Terran army is being whittled away at. And there's barely any bio. Oh my, how far do we have to go? Oh my god. The Scarab shots by me, they're crazy. Defensive DT here for Harstem. Takes down the tank, no scan. Yo, where are the scans? Do we not have any? Okay, we do. Okay, we have some conversation. There we go. It does have a scan. Bailey's gonna roll in. They collapse on the Dragoons. Diving on top of the tanks and GG. GG gets called. Harstem and Lambo, they do type the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. They tie the series up. Oh, there we go. And again, Harstem and Lambo looking a lot more comfortable here with SC2. With their SC2 race, of course. They're able to hold, able to defend, able to contain their opponents even, have some better engagements, have some better fights, and just collapse here on both ZaRDieNT and DefMars. DefMars did build up a pretty solid composition. ZaRDieNT, though, he was struggling to build up his army. He was bleeding out so many Marines throughout the course of that entire game. did struggle there, and with that, we're now getting into the ace match. Loading into game 3, you're going to be loading into New Bed of Chaos. Let's go. Let us go. This map, of course, does have a shared main, a shared natural as well. A higher chance we can hold on when it comes to early game aggression. And now it's up to DefMars and ZaRDieNT to pick and choose. Remember, it is loser's pick. What do they go for exactly? Let's go. And spawning in... it's a pairing. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of New Bed of Chaos, we have the German Zerg player, we have the green Protoss from the land of the Netherlands, we have our Shopify team, it is a Lambo and Harstem. Playing SE2 Protoss and Brood War Zerg. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the SE2 Protoss player, we have the Brood War Terran, it is ZaRDieNT and DefMars. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the ace match here. We're getting into that final game of the series. And stepping into this, we'll see how Lambo will adjust. Hello. As Lambo does come in for a drone scout, for a hatch block. Interesting. Does open up hatch first. Hatch first opener. Drone is moving out. No shot, we're just scouting. I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit more sinister than that. Keeping that drone hidden. CC is scouted on the low ground. Does go for the hatch block on the right hand side. What is this? What is this CC? I might create like there was no probe block. What? Why is it off center? Am I crazy? Wait, what? That's, I see. Okay. Because it's off center, it allows DefMars to expand. Like, sorry, it allows DefMars to pick and choose where he wants to expand, and then ZaRDieNT can just float over. Okay. It's interesting. I've never seen that before, I'll be honest. But that was like very intentional placement out of ZaRDieNT. Very, very intentional. When it came to a CC. Do we just let this finish? No shot. Bunker's on the way. So we are building up. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of DefMars. Meanwhile, we still have yet to go for our tech of choice here for Harstem. Chronoing out Warp Gate. Hatchery does complete. Bunker is finishing. It is going to be mech out of ZaRDieNT. Going into Double Factory, into Mass Vulture once again. He's building up his Vultures. And Lambo's all in. Yeah, Lambo's going for the all-in. He has 10 lings on the way. We have 2 more gateways here out of Harstem. So again, Harstem, he chooses to go for a 3-gate follow-up. No Twilight Council, no Robo, no Stargate, no tech, just purely Stalkers. Just pure Stalkers are rallying across the map. Hyper-aggression out of Team Shopify. Caramba, they're coming. And they should recognize it. They should notice the additional gateways. We ideally would have extra bunkers or an extra defensive setup here. We're both mining from the same natural. Like, what? What is happening right now? What is going on? Okay. I mean, obviously they can't expand here on the right-hand side. But I don't think I've ever seen this before, where 2 teammates are right next to each other. Yeah, Stalkers, they just bypass the bunker, make their way in. Spider Mines are not yet done. Yeah, Spider Mines still being researched. Does lift one of the Stalkers, but there's still too many. Yeah, too many Stalkers. Alien Vulture is going to be going down one after the other. And Lambo and Harstem, they're breaking through. They're breaking that natural. Bunker's going to be shut down as well. Yeah, diving on the bunker, getting a full surround. And there's nothing. There's just nothing here. Even the tank, remember, there's no siege mode. Yeah, there's no siege mode. The boys are being pulled. Low ground is evacuated. That's a lot of SCVs going down. Yeah, an insane amount of workers here. Lambo and Harstem, they overwhelm. They break into the main. They're getting on top of the tanks as well. The tanks are exposed. He gets 1. He gets 2. And both tanks go down. And with that, they've done it. Harstem and Lambo, they have done it. They've broken through. They bust into the main. More boys are being pulled. Desperation out of ZaRDieNT. Desperation out of both players. That's all they can do. Just pull the boys. Again, the Void Rage is just too far away. Vultures as well. They cannot hold their own. Not like this. Lings are still rallying in. Yeah, they rally into the bases. Nice kiting here from Harstem. Some spider mines are set up. Ooh, one mine connects. One connection. It's still not enough, Pappy. Oh god, there are so many Lings. So many Zerglings. And they break into the mineral line. More probes going down. There's no SCVs remaining. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Harstem and Lambo, they will claim the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Harstem and Lambo, they will claim the series. Again, they might be a little bit inexperienced when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, but they can still all in, Pappy. Let's go. Able to pull it off, able to pull a fast one over on their opponents, and with that, congratulations, ZaRDieNT DefMars, who I would have said were the favorites in this series. They get knocked down, they get knocked out, and with that, we do have our upcoming match. Up next, we're going to be following Lambo and Harstem into the semi